We've been seeing pro-abortionists trying to push for the Women's Health Protection Act. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and why it's actually a bad thing?
Well, I mean, a lot of these kind of well-named, cleverly crafted pieces of legislation, particularly on the federal level, can frequently be wolves in sheep's clothing, as it were. Mm-hmm. And so, a lot of these are yet again, kind of back to that conversation about Planned Parenthood versus the crisis pregnancy centers. They are efforts to kind of saddle, to even more saddle federal money with restrictions as well as very cumbersome reporting requirements to make sure that there are to basically kind of put carrots in place to almost make crisis pregnancy centers into de facto Planned Parenthood centers. In a manner of speaking, the practices would look more and more like Planned Parenthood practices and less like crisis pregnancy centers, just by kind of regulatory or oversight requirements that are even more strenuously kind of added to federal monies.
And this act would, quote, enshrine the abortion rights for women, correct?
That's right. That's right. Again, from particularly a regulatory and funding perspective. But as you and I both know, that quote unquote women's rights tend to be in the eye of the beholder, or in this situation, in the eye of the bill drafter. From their women's rights are certainly keenly interested in the rights of the women seeking abortions, but not particularly interested in the women who are in utero who have the ultimate rights in jeopardy. And so, we're trying to kind of familiarize people around the country, not only on this particular piece of legislation, but frankly, because the U.S. House is about to flip, and very likely the U.S. Senate is about to flip, from November until basically Christmas, there are going to be a slew of efforts like this, very cleverly, deftly marketed policies that are going to sound like sugar, but are actually going to be poison, that we're going to see kind of sprinkled throughout, whether it be women's health or border-related issues, education-related issues, foreign policy-related issues. There is an effort to kind of throw the kitchen sink for the next 6 or 8 weeks, knowing that the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House are not going to be friendly places for those kinds of ideas in 2023 and 2024.